Good day everyone. We are the group 11 and the lesson that assigned to us is lesson 1 entitled Learning to be a Better Learner. Have you ever been in the situation that you studied hard, read what you read over and over again, but you still didn't learn anything, and you studied your lessons because the next morning you will have a quiz, but the result is that you still failed? And that was the time you ask yourself how to learn to be a good learner. So in this lesson, it will open up our mind and will help us to be a better learner. In the introduction of this lesson, you will notice the sentence, self is not enough, since who you are is partly made up of your choices. You must also have the ability to choose, especially to be a better you. As a student, what is our goal? Some may say that the goal of a student is to graduate, others to pass the exam, have a higher grades, or to get an award. But what this lesson wants to convey to us is let's get to know ourselves better and what abilities we can still show. As a student, in order to graduate, we have to study hard, read, study, and stay up late to answer the exam and get a higher grades. You should not focus on the usual reason of every students. Okay na to, basta may maipasa, bahala na. We know in ourselves that there is something we can improve. We can do something better than we thought. We will just wonder and ask ourselves, did I do it? Can I do it? Yes, you can. And that's because you trusted yourself and you worked hard on it. When we go deeper on this lesson, we will know several techniques or ways to adapt, depending on your situation and preferences to make us a better learner. Thinking about thinking. Thinking is very important in all aspects that we do. It is an important mental process. It helps us to define and organize experiences, plan, learn, reflect, and create. But sometimes our thinking is one of the reasons become unhelpful and has a negative impact on our well-being. Kailangan lahat ng bagay at lahat ng gagawin natin ay pinag-iisipan natin ng maayos, principally in our studies, so that the grades that we will receive ay mataas din, and we will no longer regret of what we received because we know to ourselves that we did our best. We think it proper and deeply just to make our output beautiful, just to have a passing or higher grades. This thinking helps us a lot. It encourages our curiosity, enhances our creativity, and it's a skill for life, not just learning. So we must did and think before we did. Metacognition. Metacognitive thinking and strategies enable students to become flexible, creative, and self-directed learners. Kung baga, sinasabi dito na ang metacognition daw ay nakakatulong sa ating mga estudyante upang mas mapadali at mapaganda ang ating mga activities or outputs. This helps us to improve our learning and being aware of what we're thinking about and to choose effective learning strategies. There are two dimensions of metacognition. First is the metacognitive knowledge. Refers to what learners know about learnings. This includes the learner's knowledge of their own cognitive abilities. I have trouble remembering dates in history. The learner's knowledge of particular task. The ideas in this chapter that I'm going to read are complex. The learner's knowledge of different strategies that are available to them and when they are appropriate to task. If I scan the text first, it will help me to understand the overall meaning. Metacognitive knowledge, it allows the students to think strategies or any ideas on how they will cope up in their assigned task. For instance, Their instructors give them a lesson to be reported, so they think a strategy to make their task done easier. So they gathered an information to the internet to have some ideas. The second dimension of metacognition is metacognitive regulation. Refers to what learners do about learnings. It describes how learners monitor and control their cognitive processes. In this dimension, if you knew already about learnings, you will now think what to do to that learnings. For instance, if you gathered all the informations to your report lesson, you will now think on how to report in front of the class clearly. There are also 4 levels of metacognitive learners, according to David Perkins, 1992. The first one is the tacit learners, are unaware of their metacognitive knowledge. They do not think about any particular statuses for learning and merely accept if they know something or not. This helps us to learn from others' experiences, gains through experience that is often difficult to put into words or otherwise communicate. It is effective in teaching and learning processes. The second one is the aware learners. Know about some of the kinds of thinking that they do, such as generating ideas and finding evidence. Being aware of how we think, natutulungan tayo nito upang malaman natin kung ano ba ang dapat nating gawin, kung bakit at paano natin gagawin ang isang bagay, how the skills that we are learning might be used differently in different situations. The third one is the strategic learners. Organize their thinking by using problem solving, grouping and classifying evidence, seeking and decision making. They know and apply the strategies that help them learn. For me, the best example of this is conducting a brainstorming together with your classmates so that all of you can learn from and adopt their strategies. Is the reflective learners are not only strategic about their thinking but they also reflect upon their learning while it is happening, considering the success or not of any strategies they are using and then reviewing them as appropriate. It's your own thought of what you learned from what you did, what lesson you adopt from it, synthesizing new information, and it is often used to improve reading comprehension, writing performance, and self-esteem through self-examination. Connie Malamud, 2013, also stated the 6 most common metacognitive strategies used by students. Number 1 is knowing the limits of your own memory for a particular task and creating a means of external support. These strategies challenges your memories, how far your knowledge on a particular lessons. You don't need to gather informations in any sites or resources because you know already what it is. Second is self-monitoring your learning strategy, such as concept mapping, and then adapting the strategy it isn't effective. You will monitor your learnings by using concept map in order to evaluate clearly the knowledge that needed. Third one is noticing whether you comprehend something you just read and then modifying your approach if you did not comprehend it. If you read an article or any books, you will notice some of the sentence will stick to your mind because you comprehend it. But sometimes you will encounter some difficult words as a result on not understand it very well. Fourth is choosing to skim subheadings of unimportant information to get to the information you need. In order for us to get the important details, sometimes we note it so that the unimportant details must not be taken. Lastly is repeatedly rehearsing a skill in order to gain proficiency. Do it again and again will ensure to success. If you need to read it again, do it to make sure that there's no mistake to your task. In summary, metacognition is a set of skills that enable learners to become aware of how world that demands lifelong learning. Providing people with new and improved metacognitive strategies is a gift that can last forever. It's important to be a better or good learner because learning new things help us to keep up with our ever-changing society. We can also learn in other people by listening and communicating with others. Isa ito sa paraan upang matuto tayong mag-isip ng mabuti, not judging or doubting with them. To become a better learning, we must have a deep faith and trust or hard work and efforts. Good learners are not quitters. If we want to learn a lot, not just in school, but also in our life, nararapat lamang na meron tayong tiwala sa ating sarili. We must did our best in all aspects that we do, so that we can achieve the set clear goals and plan on how to reach them.